prepare to be as pissed off as I am right now.
You know what? I think the left just comes up with a bunch of bull crap so that their supporters can catch on to it because they don't think for themselves. Now, why in the world would Trump be afraid of Koala? Koala cannot even spell her name without a teleprompter. Now we have all over social media, the left is talking about Trump not going to show up because Trump is scared. Scared of what?
Yes, Kamala is out of the case. CNN just roasted Kamala for saying she would not have done anything different than Biden on The View. I'm surprised, frankly, that she doesn't have more to say about this. One of the main things she's been trying to establish as part of her candidacy is the idea that she will represent a break from the past 4 years. This is a change election, and Kamala is just more of the same. Only was. I was shocked to see this on CNN. Kamala appeared on The View. I've seen her take softball questions within the past few days, and CNN is not impressed with the way this is going. I knew that this is coming. I don't know if you've seen this. Take a look at this.
But she walks into The View, and you would think that would be an interview, and you know what they asked her? They gave her a softball, an easy question. Really propaganda. They said, can you name a single thing where you disagree with Joe Biden? Now, let's back up for a second, because remember, Kamala Harris's entire campaign is to pretend that she hasn't been the vice president for the last 3.5 years. You know, she stands up before crowds and she'll say, on day one, we're going to tackle the affordability crisis. On day one, we're going to secure the border. And you listen to her for 5 minutes and you think, Kamala, are you going to vote for Donald Trump? Because you've been vice president for 1,400 days. You haven't done anything. So you'd think after all this time of thinking about how she would do things differently from Joe Biden, she would have a well-prepared answer for the interviewers on The View. Well, they ask her one thing you would do differently from Joe Biden. You know what she says? I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Now, in her defense, I'm not sure she could think of anything off the top of her head, whether about Joe Biden's policies or anything else, but think about this. For the last 2 months, Kamala Harris has been telling the American people that she's going to do things differently than Joe Biden, where she increased the cost of groceries by 25%. The average Michigan family is paying $1,000 more per month. That's $12,000 per year to afford today what they could have afforded when Donald Trump was president. The border is wide open thanks to our illustrious border czar, Kamala Harris, and her entire campaign has been to pretend that she doesn't bear any responsibility for the policies, even though she's the sitting vice president.
This is actually embarrassing. When you look at how people are trashing her after this interview, it is something. I knew that this will happen. Kamala at this point is proving that Biden policies would just be the same she would take through. That is what I've realized. She will not change anything. This was a question. She was there to respond in such a way to convince people what she would do. That is contrary to what Biden did. She has been there for 4 years. She could not do it. And she want to convince me.
Done something differently than President Biden. What do you make of that?
I'm surprised, frankly, that she doesn't have more to say about this, given that she and her campaign know that this is one of the main questions that voters have about her. And one of the main things she's been trying to establish as part of her candidacy is the idea that she would represent a break from the past 4 years, and to not be able to come up with something to say in that moment. She continues to not be particularly nimble on her feet in a lot of these interviews, and this is a very obvious question that gave her an opportunity, frankly, to differentiate herself in a way that would have made news, that would have answered, I think, the curiosity of a lot of voters who want to know how she would lead differently. And she's not very specific in laying that out, and she can't point to a decision she would have made differently, which, in an electorate that thinks that doesn't like the way this administration has led and that doesn't like the track that the country is on, that may not be a very satisfactory answer.
I mean, it's a delicate dance.
Now you can see why they are not allowing her to take interviews. Within the space of 4 days, I've seen her on The View. In fact, taking these softball questions. The only place I saw putting out real difficult questions was 60 Minutes, though she followed through. On The View, this was an opportunity for her to even train, like giving out the difference between what she has been doing for the past 4 years and what she would do if elected. That could have been good. She missed out the opportunity. Now, look at how CNN is covering this. They are extremely, embarrassed to see what she said.
You know what? I think the left just comes up with a bunch of bull crap so that their supporters can catch on to it because they don't think for themselves. Now, why in the world would Trump be afraid of Koala? Koala cannot even spell her name without a teleprompter. Now we have all over social media, the left is talking about Trump not going to show up because Trump is scared. Scared of what? The girl is a blubbering idiot. I have never heard her answer a question. The man asked her how her losing the race would affect racial tensions in the country. The girl started talking about Martin Luther King and opening doors. Girl, what? Y'all say she be dodging questions. I don't think she dodging them. I think she just doesn't understand them. I'm the type of person where I'm not afraid of anyone or anything except for like bugs and reptiles and things like that. If the Lord hadn't changed me, I would show some people how unafraid I am. However, Trump strikes me to be the same way. Trump has already been the president. He's done this more than a few times. Why would Trump be afraid? Y'all said that exact stupid thing about Biden. Who in their right minds to be scared of Biden? That man is... Y'all still don't know what she's going to do. Y'all still don't know what she did in the last 3.5 years. I can sum it up for you in one word: nothing. In all the years that we've known Trump, we have never seen that man show any signs of being afraid. He fell asleep in the courtroom where they were charging him with 34 felonies. That's just how unbothered he is. And y'all not crazy. Y'all see that man is not scared.
Yes, the kind of image Democrats are struggling to paint now that Trump is scared of interviews. 60 Minutes put out a short video where they said, oh, Trump refused to go on that interview because he refused to be fact checked. Then Kamala campaign took it and said, oh, Trump is scared. Trump is like this. These are people we have been criticizing for a long time, refusing to take questions from reporters. When they realize that she's performing poor, they came in with this strategy like, oh, let's call for another debate. Trump rejected, like, I'm not part. Okay, when they realized that that didn't work, then now you saw Kamala going on podcasts, now interviews. That is to tell you that they realized that she's failing. If she was winning, I will tell you the truth, she will stay mute to the elections. What they are trying to do now, it is to, just see if this can work out. But to me, it is not working. Look at the criticisms we are putting out after this question on The View.
Today, I wanted to announce that from myself personally, just from my own bank account, I'm donating $1 million today.
A bad sign for Kamala Harris's campaign. The bottom line is it looks a lot more like a loser than it does like a winner when it comes to the country being on the right track.
Because of his January 6th conduct, and do you stand by that? No, I don't stand by it, and I'll tell you why. The Biden-Harris policy are not only becoming an existential threat to our country's way of life, but to our allies as well.
Just do it this one time. Do it this one time. Vote for the Democrat to save the country. Listen to Liz Cheney. When everything goes back to normal, then become a Republican again, like Alyssa will become, and probably Anna.
Kamala said
I was shocked when I saw this video. They made it clear it is extremely looking bad for Kamala. It has not happened like this in a long time. People should not care about the economy. They should just go to the polls because they don't like Trump to be there.
Wants to take away your health care.
As 1 in 3 women currently in this country is living under an abortion ban.
You can see, like, really clearly, as there is a ferocious effort
to stop Donald Trump from becoming president again that I've never seen before.
Donald Trump, baby. Taylor Swift matters. Does she matter to you?
Well, she comes out.
But I don't think most Americans would.
Trump.
I don't care if they write that. No is right, and you guys, I need to be on the right side of history.
So, with that, I'm going to shake it off. And I'm done with you.
Of them, it's like 73% said they're voting for Trump.
Okay, yeah.
Kamala. Oh, wait, she went for the handshake. Incredible display of the upward.
Like, we shouldn't demean Trump supporters. We shouldn't call them names.
Trump has come in the spin room, just so you know. That has happened.
Newly reported by NBC News, Vice President Kamala Harris has spoken recently and repeatedly with former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
You really want Trump to lose this election, right? No, you don't?
So you have to have a controlled border, a secure border.
Please register to vote for something else that's very important coming up.
Look at this. She's only up by 15 points.
Taylor Swift, as though I have that power.
This is Kiera and the national response.